Over the years, the game had been shaped by brilliance. Pelé brought poetry to the pitch, Maradona made it magic, and Platini added grace and vision. They thrilled, they inspired, they won. But Cruyff? Cruyff rewrote the language of football. He didn't just shine within the system. Legendary manager Bielsa once said of Cruyff, "Cruyff created a system integrity by organising the values he put forward in his name around a philosophy. This is a change that only a personality with philosophical teachings can make." Cruyff questioned the system, deconstructed it, and rebuilt it from the ground up. Tactics, space, identity. A revolution stirred, but not of politics or war, but of football. He changed how the game was played, taught and understood. Cruyff was born in April 1947, not just into a city, but into its heartbeat. He grew up in Betondorp, a working-class neighbourhood just steps from Ajax's De Meer Stadium. His father ran a greengrocer's. His mother, after his father's early passing, took work cleaning the Ajax facilities. Before Cruyff, Dutch football lived largely in the shadows of Europe's giants. The post-war game in the Netherlands was slow to professionalise. It lacked the flair of Brazil, the power of Germany, or the discipline of Italy. Clubs were local institutions, but the national style was undefined, a patchwork of influence struggling for identity. Ajax, while respected, was not yet a European powerhouse. The hunger was there, though. The city streets were full of imagination, and change was coming. It would start with a boy named Johan. He wasn't just another kid with a ball. Coaches like Gianni van der Veen saw something different: intelligence, swagger and vision. By 17, Cruyff had made his debut for Ajax. Thin, quick and graceful. By 19, he was the star. Under the stewardship of Rinus Michels, the concept of total football took shape. Johan was its conductor. He wasn't a striker, not a midfielder, not a winger. He was all of them. Wherever space was, Cruyff filled it. And Ajax thrived, winning 3 consecutive European Cups from 1971 to 1973. By the time he left Ajax in 1973, Cruyff had scored 190 goals in 240 appearances, a staggering return for a player who, really redefined positional play. His influence on the club wasn't just in silverware, it was in identity. In 1973, he made a then-world record move to FC Barcelona, but, it wasn't just football. Franco's Spain saw Catalonia suppressed, and Cruyff became, almost by accident, a symbol of freedom. On the pitch, he elevated Barca to glory. That 5-0 win over Real Madrid in the Bernabeu? Well, that wasn't just sport, that was history. In just 5 seasons, Cruyff made 180 appearances for Barcelona, scoring 60 goals and guiding them to their first league title in 14 years. He brought not only brilliance, but belief, and left behind the blueprint for everything the club would become. "1974, the world stage. Cruyff captained the Netherlands with elegance and dominance. The Dutch blitzed through the tournament with their hypnotic, fluid football, beating the likes of Argentina and Brazil on their way to the final. And then came their arch-rivals West Germany, the Netherlands' first World Cup final in their history. Holland would go on to lose 2-1 to the Germans. Johan never returned to the World Cup. His turn, his vision, his legacy, they endured to this day. Cruyff returned to Barcelona as manager in the late 1980s, but, he wasn't teaching tactics. He was teaching identity. The dream team, Stoichkov, Laudrup, Guardiola, played as Johan once had. He introduced La Masia, inspired generations, and shaped the man who would define modern football, Pep Guardiola. In 8 seasons as manager, Cruyff oversaw 430 games and delivered 11 trophies, including 4 consecutive La Liga titles and the club's first ever European Cup in 1992. Pep Guardiola later said, Johan Cruyff painted the chapel. Our job is to preserve it. As a player, Cruyff taught him vision and courage, and as a manager he taught him philosophy and trust. The Cruyff influence wasn't tactical alone, it was spiritual. He gave Barcelona more than just success. Honestly, he gave them their soul. He once said, "Playing football is simple, but playing simple football is the hardest thing there is." Cruyff was more than a player, more than a manager. He was a thinker, a fighter, a visionary. The terrace chants may fade, the boots may be hung, but Johan Cruyff, he still runs the game.